Welcome to the New Life Stories channel. We hope you will have fun with us. Enjoy watching.
Henry, summer's coming. When will you install an air conditioner for me? Soon, 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 the man replied grudgingly to his mother-in-law, who was getting tired of her constant reminders. Of course, to some extent, Henry was to blame for the delay, because Kaylee had asked him to do it for 2 months in a row. The man had been working as an installer of these air conditioners for a long time, so he realized that customers were in peak demand for these jobs now, so they were willing to pay the inflated price. Refrigeration companies and their installers were charging exorbitant prices, but the demand for their products and services remained high. Henry took advantage of this, now earning as much in a week as he did in a single fall or winter month. So half a day's work at his mother-in-law's house threatened to cost him a pretty tidy sum. All in all, that was the only problem that made the man reluctant to waste his time with Kaylee. Otherwise, he treated her very well, truly believing that he was very lucky to have a mother-in-law. After listening to his friends' stories about their wives' mothers, he was insanely glad that Kaylee wasn't like that at all. In his friends' stories, all mothers-in-law seemed like the devils of hell who looked like Worgen jellyfish and acted like crazy neurasthenics. Kaylee was the complete opposite of them. She was kind, understanding, and helpful, and looked 15 years younger than her 50 years. As a free woman, she was very popular with the opposite sex, often having short-term affairs with them. Of course, Henry didn't mean to call her a woman of easy virtue. It was just that Kaylee really took everything in life, not forgetting her loved ones. When the man finally managed to carve out some time to hang the air conditioner he'd long ago bought, the woman had just run off on another date. The work in the house next door to hers had been canceled at the last moment, so Henry dropped by his mother-in-law's house unannounced. She didn't answer the doorbell, so the man opened the door with his own key. Not finding a woman at home, Henry decided that his long-awaited but necessary initiative would be a pleasant surprise for Kaylee. From the first moments, however, things went wrong. The man's favorite drill, which had served him faithfully for 5 years, broke at the very beginning. Cussing hard, Henry went to the internet to find out how much a new similar tool cost. The numbers he saw made his eyes water, and he launched into a tirade. It had cost him a fortune to help his mother-in-law. Of course, when he cooled down, he realized that sooner or later his perforator would have burned in the same way. But the fact that it had happened in Kaylee's apartment was a bad sign. To calm down a little, he went out on the balcony for a smoke. At the same minute, the woman herself returned to the apartment. She was under a pleasant impression after her recent date, so she hummed a little song to herself. Not paying attention to her son-in-law's shoes in the hallway, she quickly washed her hands and went straight to the bedroom to take off her tight dress. Although it emphasized all the charms of her slender body, it was tight enough that it caused her little discomfort. Henry's tools were in another room, and the balcony in front of the bedroom was closed with thick curtains, so she didn't notice that her brother-in-law was ajar. Beauty would save the world, of course, but all's well in a little. Deciding so, she unzipped the zipper on her dress and immediately pulled it off. Rubbing her hands where the fabric was tight, she decided to stay naked, but only had time to remove her bra, and then he appeared. Henry didn't know whether he was more frightened by the woman's sudden image or by her loud scream. They literally jumped away from each other in different directions until Kaylee realized that she was almost completely naked and was covering her lush breasts with her hands. Her brother-in-law was rewarded with a beautiful view of her nakedness. "What are you doing here?" the woman shouted again. "I came to hang the air conditioner. You asked for it. Yes, 2 months ago, and now the moment has come." "You picked the worst time to do it." The woman continued to resent me. "Well, first of all, I apologize, and secondly, if it makes you feel better and happy, you look great." Henry was the first to come to his senses and decided to smooth things over. With that unexpected compliment, he proudly retired to the next room, where he immediately began to gather his tools. A couple of minutes later, his mother-in-law came out to him, visibly blushing with shame and pleasant words to her address. Looking at her son-in-law's things and at the still-sealed air conditioner, she asked in surprise, "Why are you leaving? Did what you saw throw you off balance? I'm glad you took the incident with a sense of humor," she said, and there was a conciliatory note in her voice. "I'm not in the mood for humor. I lost a friend." And he patted the palm of his hand on the perforator lying on the floor. "It broke." "Yes? Is it expensive?" "I wish you didn't know that," Henry said bitterly. "Well, let me compensate you a little for your financial loss." "No, thanks. You've made me very happy today." The man winked at her. "I'm also glad the sight of an old woman didn't scare you. If you keep saying stupid things like that about yourself, I'll put off installing the air conditioner until the fall." "That's it. I won't say another word." Kaylee smiled. "No? Really? When can you hang it up?" "Well, I'm going to the building supply store right now to get a punch. Let's try to get started tomorrow morning. That would be just great." "Thanks, Henry. You're welcome." After parting with a rather substantial sum of money, the man decided to take the drill to his mother-in-law's house right away, so as not to have to lug it halfway across town twice. As he approached her apartment, the image of a naked woman again surfaced in front of his eyes. "My wife is good, of course, but I envy Kaylee's lovers too," he thought, and rang the doorbell. The mother-in-law didn't answer again. Thinking she had gone somewhere else again, Henry opened the door again with his key. Kaylee, on the other hand, was just in the bathroom taking a shower at that moment, so she didn't hear his call. Not expecting a return visit from her son-in-law, the woman went out into the hallway, as usual, wearing only a towel, and that was tied over her head instead of her body. To her credit, this time she did not even shriek. She quickly pulled herself together and let her son-in-law admire her naked body with her arms at her sides. "Henry, how do you do that?" Kaylee asked, her eyes radiating sparks of amusement. "I don't know, but I like it," replied the boy. "Come on." The woman still didn't cover up, seeing no need for it. "What time should I expect you tomorrow?" "Let me come by 10. "Okay, I'll try and remember to get dressed by then." "What's the point?" Her son-in-law kept smiling. "You are a naughty boy, Henry. All right, come on, get out of here," she said affectionately. The next morning, Kaylee did indeed meet him dressed, which even upset the fantasized man a little. This time the work boiled over from the first minutes. Henry couldn't get excited about his new tool, the productivity of which was mind-blowing. The windows of the room faced the sunny side, so the room quickly heated up, and the man became unbearably hot. He threw off his t-shirt and changed his jeans for short shorts. At some point, the woman decided to stop by to ask him if he was thirsty. When she saw her son-in-law with minimal clothing on his body, she marveled at his torso in response. "Henry, but you realize the score is still 2-1 in your favor. For us to equalize, you have to get completely naked," Kaylee said in a playful tone. "I understand, Kaylee, but as much as you'd like to, work comes first," her brother-in-law joked back, wiping the sweat from his forehead. Taking another look at his body, the woman headed for the kitchen, forgetting why she had come into the room. When the dirty and noisy work was done, Henry decided to ask Kaylee what he could mop the floor with. When he entered her bedroom, he couldn't believe his eyes. His mother-in-law was standing with her back to him, leaning against the bed. On it, she was folding the clothes she had just taken off to change for going out. Hearing her son-in-law's voice from behind her, Kaylee flinched. "Do you believe in fate?" "I don't believe in anything anymore." Her mother-in-law felt Henry's gaze on her naked buttocks. "You don't have to get dressed." Once again, the son-in-law decided to brighten the awkward situation with a joke. "Wow, what more could you ask for?" Kaylee turned to him, realizing she had nothing to be ashamed of or complex about. I won't talk about it out loud or you'll think I'm a pervert, honestly answered the man. His mother-in-law was a little taken aback and hesitated. After a few seconds, however, she came to her senses and stepped toward Henry. The emancipated relatives had been on the same wavelength for a long time and understood perfectly well that they wanted the same thing. Speak, or better yet, act. My hands are dirty. Henry tried to return the initiative to the woman. Yeah, all by yourself. Kaylee grabbed the man by the elastic band of his underpins and pulled him to her and pushed him onto her bed. But Henry jumped up from the bed and headed for the door. Wait, where are you going? The naked woman asked, reluctantly letting her son-in-law go. Do you want to hang up the air conditioner? I want to finally wash my hands, and the air conditioner can wait. I'll be right back for you. And he winked cheerfully at his mother-in-law. Dear friends, if you like this story, please share your thoughts in the comments and put like or dislike. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you all. Until new stories.